So since we resumed service last November, we've seen about a 50 to 70% increase in ridership month over month compared to the 2019-2020 period. We're seeing a lot of commuters, slightly different patterns, slightly different times of day, but a lot of traffic there. But more than anything, we're seeing a real resurgence in leisure travel. Events in South Florida have been really hopping. So, we all know we have, we're one of the only states in the country that has NBA, MLS, NHL, all of the major national sports are here, including F1 for its first year last year. So tons and tons of events happening, not just on the sporting side, but also concerts as well. And we're seeing the train being heavily used for those. The system opened with Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm. Really, it's a fraction. It's only about 20% of our ultimate system. We're opening up Aventura and Boca a little bit later on this year. And then next year, we'll be connecting all of these South Florida stations into Central Florida. So that's going to make that about a 3-hour trip between South Florida and Central Florida. So we opened up Parkline on top of our Miami station downtown. It's about 800 rental units, and we started leasing those right before COVID hit. And we were a little nervous. We didn't know what was going to happen. But what actually happened was we ended up being able to lease those units a few basis points higher than what we had projected and about twice as fast. There's a huge amount of interest in development and investment around these train stations for a number of reasons. And I can speak to what's happened at World Center adjacent to Miami Central in Miami, and what Related have done, for example, in West Palm Beach. Each have spent north of $2 or $3 billion in the 3 or 4 blocks surrounding our stations. And they've done that because they understand, and this is endemic to the transit-oriented development industry throughout this country, that developments, whether they're office, resi, or retail, generally lease on a higher per square foot basis and trade at better cap rates than other locations. And it's because of the accessibility, and it's because that people can live this car alternative lifestyle where they don't necessarily have to get into their car to get everywhere. When we announced Boca and Aventura stations, where we really didn't control any of the land around those stations or the site selection as much, we've seen developers get in on that land as soon as, in some cases, before we even announced the station was going to be there. So it does become quite competitive. People really want this land.